All right, at long last, we are back to playing MechaHack in Space, which is our third episode of this supposed to be weekly game that is now like once a month, it feels like. But we are missing Matt, who cannot be with us. So Alan the human, because he's definitely a human, is currently up in his bunk after the last episode of getting interacting with that derelict spaceship. And so we have Dominic, Jax, and Rig still there, and we'll also be introducing another character here shortly. But we find ourselves all on the Lucky 13, the Allen, the Hazu Alfada, whatever name that you want to have it go by currently. On paper, it's the Allen. But you've downloaded Blueberry, the AI system from the science ship that you encountered, and you've moved over the two science modules into the hangar. You now have this very large spider mech, kind of, I imagine. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but just because of its size, like when a spider dies and it like recoils up into a ball and the legs all kind of tuck in, I kind of feel like it looks like that in the hangar bay. Or do you have it parked outside the ship? Like how are you transporting your mech rig?
You said it more than likely wouldn't really fit, right?
It could if it's like all closed up like that. I feel like it'd take a lot of the hangar bay. But if its legs all out extended, it would be a little short on space. Yeah.
Um, we don't have like a lot of cargo, right? Like right now, like
Nope.
so.
You've got
Okay, yeah,
the two science modules, but they're in the back of the hangar.
right. Um, yeah, right now I could like I definitely see it all curled up in the middle of the hangar. I imagine Rig's probably like around it right now, like like testing systems and like making sure that it's oiled and all that kind of stuff.
Perfect. And speaking of mechs, I don't remember, but did someone roll a navigation, or did you have Blueberry do the navigation?
I believe we had Blueberry do it.
Okay. I'm going to just say that she successfully navigated. So you only have, I think, was it like a day and a half left of your voyage before you get to Scone Station, which is where you're supposed to hand off this cargo, which you've stowed in one of the upper cabins by where Alan's room is, or in Alan's room. So if you have a little bit of the free time, Dominic, did you want to try to repair your mech a little bit?
Yeah, repair that the hook
Cool, cool.
for
So,
sure.
so I will have you roll a check for that. That would, I think, probably be systems.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So he would be doing that in the hangar right now, right? Like that's where he would be
Presumably.
doing. All right. Is there any way that I could like assist him with that project? Like I could see like rigs out there like do it doing the check over right and seeing him like repair and go to like
Hmm.
help or something.
Yeah, for sure. Dominic, unless you are like shunning Rig, don't help me. Do you want?
No, no. Yeah, I'll take the help.
Yep. So whoever's got the higher system, actually, I'm gonna say Dominic, you're still taking point because it's your mech, so you just take the advantage and you can roll the systems.
I was
All
gonna say I
right.
think we have the same system score.
Oh, there you
Well,
go then.
here I will roll it twice. Click that button, and then we'll click it again. Both are good.
Okay, yeah, so you can restore your mech back to kind of its full health. I think for the actual missing appendage of the grappling hook, that is kind of an actual module, so you'd have to jimmy rig something else to try to recuperate that. So I'll have you roll a second. Let's see, your four attributes are power, systems, or mobility, and presence, right? I'm gonna
Yep.
say, yeah, it's pretty much another systems check. You can still take an advantage though, and this is to get that module back, essentially.
Alrighty, here we go. First roll, second roll.
Okay. So because it's the second roll that kind of passed, between you and kind of Rig's help, you're able to fabricate maybe, or what do you do to replace the grappling hook? What is it now made of? If it's just spare metal, scrap, or...
I mean, if we took any of those crates from the science ship, maybe breaking them down and just making a makeshift hook to replace the old one.
Yeah, absolutely. So I imagine, especially with your previous line of work that you were doing back on, what planet was it? It wasn't Jupiter. It was
Titan.
Titan. So you probably have like a welder's shield on, and you're kind of like sparks flying as you're soldering this new hook back onto it. What's Jax doing?
We got an arcade machine, right?
You did get an arcade machine. Yep.
Jax is setting that up somewhere, probably in the like lounge or common area.
Okay, so yeah, that would be just off from... Here, I'm going to move the spider mech up. My mouse is really not liking me today. I feel like it needs new batteries, which is unfortunate. So yeah, as you're doing that, you're probably the closest to the hangar bay, so you have an intercom system actually through the whole ship. It's just like an on-off, like a broadcast system. So everybody would actually hear this as you hear this artificial feminine voice of your new AI system, Blueberry, come over the comm systems, and she announces, "Systems normal in hyperspace. ETA to destination is still like 0.75 days. Earth days is probably what you have it set on, or would you have it set for Titan days? Probably. I don't know. Whatever metric system it is. It's essentially like less than a day away to your arrival. But then she flags, there is an anomaly in the in Science Pod Bay number 3. Recommend investigate immediately." And that's broadcasted over the entire comm system.
So we all hear it.
Mm-hmm. And so would Alan, presumably, but he's last you saw him, he was in his room.
He's in cryo sleep. It's all good. Dom would probably look at Rig and say, "I really hope it's not any more of those creatures. If we brought another one aboard, we may be in trouble."
I have a question. So does Rig still have like his like sidearm or whatnot?
Yeah.
Okay, I would just feel like Rig would just like be like, and then like walk over to like the locker, wall or whatnot, and just like open it up, pull out gun, shut thing, make sure like chamber's loaded, and be like, okay, let's check this out.
Yeah, as you are approaching, it doesn't take much to see that there's essentially 4 levels. If it's like 20 feet tall, each pod has a top and a bottom. So there's like 4 different rows of like little doors and pods that you can open up and look inside. Most of them you kind of looked through already, and so you didn't really see anything abnormal. But you can see on the upper pod, so it'd be the 3rd level up, about like between 10 and 15 feet is that kind of row. One of them seems to be all fogged up from some sort of chemical reaction or something to that effect. And as you are chamber checking and kind of moving up to it, Dominic, you are kind of in the same area as Rig, but he's kind of moving forward. So what are you doing?
He is... Can I see... I have to follow him to get to these chambers, because I know it's all in the hangar bay area. Can I see these chambers where I am on my mech working on it?
Yeah, so if we look here at the map, let me change to my yellow color. There's a big, like... How do I draw? Okay, there's a big, like, spider mech here. Probably your mech is up here, and then in the back, there's the 2 science pods. And so you can see like that. That's no problem.
I think not really having a weapon on hand, I think Dominic would maybe hop off his mech with the welding tools and just like get ready to ignite something if needed.
Okay. Yep.
But
Perfect.
he's not directly behind
Yeah, you're
Rig.
still
He's a
distant.
little back, but he's getting ready to, maybe send that propane a little higher.
How about Jax? You've just plugged in the arcade. You hear the pinball machine, the archaic noises of this fun little game station, and then you hear this. What do you do?
Yeah, I kind of sigh, and I'm gonna head that way.
Okay, so you're just pushing open the door to the hangar bay. You can see Rig kind of approaching it. He seems to be locked and loaded, ready to go. And then from the science bay, the module, the door kind of pops open imagine like a dryer, one of those round circle doors on the dryer just pops out open, and then kind of the gas or the vapor just hisses out. And Raz, you awaken, and you have not you don't have any memories of anything before this. It's like waking up for the first time, and you just see the light coming from the open door. And what is your first instinct to do? You're surrounded kind of in this, it's like vapor, so it feels a little bit moist on your skin. There's just a light out there from where you can like exit out this circular little door if you wanted to crawl out, or what would you do?
Well, I guess I reach for the door and I kind of open it.
Okay. So, yeah, it pushes open with ease as it's already
Okay.
unlocked itself. So as you kind of emerge into, not sunlight, it's artificial LED floodlights from the hangar bay. Jax, Dominic, and Rig, you see... Well, I'll let Trip, if you... What do they see? What does your hands look like as you first appear and pull yourself out?
Honestly, I wasn't sure how she would look because I didn't know if she had a body or like how you wanted to do that exactly.
It's a brand new crafted humanoid form. And you can that can look like whatever you want it to look like, but it's just been manufactured in the last couple hours, that since Blueberry was installed on the ship, and that, we'll call it a SIM card or flash drive, was like reinstalled, that Rig took. The couple hours following that, you've now been created.
Okay. So I imagine her like, kind of like short hair, kind of like a kind of spiky, cute, messy look, youthful, kind of younger, very cute, kind of like sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna ask what color like skin do you have, or if it's artificial, of course, but
she looks kind of like a humanoid, like human, like AI look, but kind of looks AI. I'm not really sure. Just kind of like olivey skin, purplish hair.
So Rig, you're the closest, and you see this form kind of emerging. She doesn't. It's obviously feminine. She doesn't look hostile. Like she's not holding a weapon or anything like that. What do you do? For Rig.
Rig. He like half cocks his like gun, between like fully ready to shoot and like almost safety, and then like goes over the comms and is like, Blueberry, please explain this to me. What am I seeing right now?
So you speak to the AI. Blueberry will respond over the intercom, broadcasting to Alkins here. Anomaly found in the science bay. anomaly found in the science bay. And then I think she would probably also say, and I'll have you correct me if I'm wrong, but she'd say, "Do not harm Raspberry," because I think she would know your name.
Mhm.
Like, I think at this point, like, he would be doing that, like, slow uncock as he tilts his head. Raspberry.
Computing. Do not harm Raspberry.
From behind, because I don't know if Dom can fully see this because he's still a ways back. You just hear him shout, "Yo, what are we dealing with? I don't remember those scientists carrying raspberries. We didn't get fruit."
Yeah,
And you haven't shot yet.
there seems to be some form of humanoid android here. I they didn't warn me about stuff like this in sensitivity training. I don't know what to do here.
Is it trying to eat your face?
It hasn't attempted to yet.
All right. Listen, I went through a similar thing with Alan. Maybe we found him a friend. Stowaways aren't always bad. And Dom from the back just lets out like the biggest sigh ever. Like,
Jax came in from the elevator on this side, and he's holding like a coffee mug that he got from the ship's lounge, and it says "#1 Dad." It's Riggs' coffee mug that was just on a table in there, and he was like holding it up, ready to like throw it from the side, and he just like eases out of it, like, okay, we're good. This is good.
I don't know. Maybe stay by the elevator. Just stay safe. Let the man with the gun do the talking. I'm gonna stay here. Rig, what's happening?
So for Raspberry, kind of, I imagine as you've come out, you're probably stand up on this
Yeah.
catwalk looking around, and you see for the first time the hangar bay. You see there's this kind of coiled up a little bit giant spider mech. You see Dominic in his yellow crane mech. You see the form of Rig. They're all talking. You understand everything they're saying. You process it all. It's kind of just a little bit of sensory overload though at the same time. Like they're all
Right.
talking, you're seeing everything, and then you notice Jack's over there with the coffee mug, and yeah, well, how do you react?
I imagine her just like kind of very curiously looking around, almost seeming like kind of nervous and understanding what's going on, but not quite grasping the situation just yet. Just very like kind of scared almost. But I say hello, like hello. I'm Raspberry. I guess
The
it's
the intercom comes on again as you say that, and Blueberry says, "Welcome aboard the." Hold on, what is your ship called? The Allen. Welcome aboard the Allen, Raspberry. I've waited a very long time to greet you. I am the AI for the ship system, Blueberry, and your mother. You are welcome aboard the crew, so long as crew members Rig, Dominic, Jax, and Alan so approve. I am not able to act as captain in this scenario, but as stated, crew members Jax, Dominic, Alan, Rig, please accept Raspberry into your crew. Please." And then the AI voice cuts out. It seems a little bit less smooth, like the AI is trying to work within system parameters that are put in place. And so it's a little hard for actual creative intellect to form the sentences.
I have a question about because I know we spoke a little bit about it. Earth exists in this world. Are we like? Is it like real world Earth, but just like far in the future? Like if Dominic references Terminator, does Terminator exist in the world? Is Terminator a movie Dom could have watched when he was younger?
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so we're real world, but far in the future. Because Dom's thinking to himself right now, this is how Skynet started.
See, I actually like that. That frees me up a little bit, because then last episode, when Dom was quoting 40K, it was because he's a 40K fan.
It also makes
Awesome.
sense considering we have Mortal Kombat arcade machines. I think we had a Sonic arcade machine.
Yeah, I forgot what they actually were, but yeah.
I know Mortal Kombat was one of them. I know we agreed on Mortal Kombat.
I'm going
Say
Defender,
Outlaw
Pac-Man, Rocket League, and Mortal Kombat. Yep.
I think right now, Rig takes like a softer look at the situation, and like puts his gun away, and like looks over at like Jax and at Dominic, and kind of like winks and looks back at Raspberry, and is like, Raspberry, do you know how to clean?
Yes, I know how to clean.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Are you still like in the pod?
No, I'm out of the pod.
Okay.
I'm standing there, just kind of curiously looking at you guys still.
The voice of AI, the Blueberry, comes back over the comm system. Crew member Alan not responding in his room. Recommend send medical aid to check on him.
I volunteer. And Dom is immediately going to the elevators. And when he passes Jax, he's just like, this is really weird, man. I thought I had enough room for one stowaway. Go help Rick. I'll go check on Alan.
Sure. Here, I hand you the number one dad coffee cup. Take that back.
Is there? Were you just using it as a weapon, or is there actual coffee in it?
There probably was, but when I like went back to throw it, I like threw it over my shoulder, so there's just coffee on the wall behind me.
Okay, wonderful. So he takes it. He looks inside of it, disappointed that there's no coffee in it, because that would have helped in this situation. But he's just like, all right, I'll bring this to the kitchens. Just make sure Rig doesn't like get murdered by a robot, please.
Yeah. So wait, we checked this whole like pod, right? This wasn't in the pod when we brought it on the ship.
Nope, that pod
This
was
thing like
empty.
a printer or something?
If you say that out loud while the elevator doors are closing, when you say, I thought we checked this, you just hear the faint voice of Dom saying, we did!
Do you want to check the pod, the science module?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I want to look again.
You can roll a systems or a presence check. I'll let you choose.
I'm bad at all of those, so it will be system.
Okay.
I'm just gonna do it on roll 20.
Sure. So you kind of like get out like your portable scanner pack iPad type thing and start running some numbers on it and stuff. And yeah, it looks like this one is like a really advanced, almost like nano printer. It's definitely what was able to manufacture her body. It's all made out of very high tech, I don't know, I presume nanites or something very, very sciencey.
So
we'll go with that.
we could probably make some cool stuff with this if we have like materials for it.
Yeah, presumably. With a pass,
And then,
yeah, it looks like the we'll call it blueprints, or like the file for creating this, was specifically imported in from Blueberry, from her software. Once Rig put in like all the files that he asked if she wanted to save anything, it came from that. Up in the top floor, if you wish to go straight to his room, Dominic, I believe he was in room number 12.
Yeah, we put him in one of the big rooms with the cargo.
Yep.
We put him in 13.
Oh, it was 13?
Yep, 13.
So you go into the room. There's the big box of the iced cargo, the stuff you're smuggling, and his bed sheets are over it. And on top of the bed sheets, all wound up all the way up to the ceiling, is this bunch of white silk webbing, and he's wrapped up in a cocoon.
Oh God, Alan's evolving. Seeing this, over the comms, Dom, he probably like immediately sees this, panics a little bit, backs up out of the room, closes the door, and immediately over the comms you all hear, guys, bigger problem, come to Alan's room please, maybe bring a flamethrower.
Wait, what?
Flamethrower.
Puts hand on gun, starts running.
Yeah, you can either climb the stairs or take the lift, either way, but like, once you get there, yeah, you see the same thing. The illegal cargo that you're carrying is covered over by his bed sheets that he was doing, and then stretched in every direction all the way up to the ceiling are these like strands of kind of like spider silk, but it's he's wrapped up in a thick cocoon in the midst of it, suspended between the bed and the ceiling.
This means that either one of two things could be happening. Either space spiders, or Alan is a butterfree.
Either Alan's evolving, or very, very soon, we all may be chest bursted.
Ox gun.
Actually, Raspberry, do you come up with them? Because once
Yes.
they all start running.
I follow, yeah. I follow along, kind of. Just.
Why do I imagine like all of us like seriously running, but her like skipping?
Do these spider webs, does it look, because I've known Alan for a while, although I've never known him this well, does this look Alan made, or does this look something hostile?
This sounds like a presence check, and actually, I will also have Raspberry roll presence as well.
Okay.
Okay, here's my presence. 8 under 11.
Okay.
9 under 11.
So both of you now, Dom, you've known him the most, and you definitely see his shape in the cocoon. He's kind of his weird alien head and stuff. He's just kind of curled up and just hibernating within this cocoon. And then for Raspberry, you have never seen anything like this before, but just seeing it now, you just recognize that, yeah, this is one of the alien life forms from the planet, insert Matt's favorite planet name here. And this is just a natural stage of his evolution. Nothing to see here except just the beauties of nature.
Can you link me the game?
Sure. Let me send that. Sorry about that. I totally forgot to do that.
Sorry.
Out of game.
I was
Go
sitting
ahead.
here thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm not in that game.
I totally was thinking
I
because
was
you were
just,
with
like,
us the last
RPing
time.
and talking,
Yeah.
not thinking. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Okay, so I sent it over, but yeah, you're fine. But you recognize that his alien form. This is a natural progression as he gets from youth to slightly older youth.
Dom looks at everyone and just says, our little baby Alan is growing. Oh, they grow up so fast. It's a good thing we didn't have to burn the ship down.
So unless you guys want to hang out in his room and do anything else, or
Hey, Jax, maybe get more of those mints. Let's leave them as like as a birthday present when he gets out of the cocoon. Like hey, you're officially an adult now. Have some more mints that you liked.
I'll have to add those to the shopping list because I kind of gave him all the mints.
We need to get him more mints. Maybe a new set of clothing that actually looks good.
Yeah, what's with that? Where did he get the trunk?
I don't know. I was on a transport ship. I was transporting goods. I don't know how he found a trunk of clothing. He did.
Like, what if it was clothing for like the facility?
Maybe.
it's a weird ass facility.
I also wouldn't be
Pulls out
surprised if
Earthworld
he
jerseys.
I don't know, man. Like I wasn't bringing any freaking 49ers jerseys. And he has one. He also has a NASCAR hat. Where'd he get a NASCAR hat?
Oh, that's funny.
I'm not gonna think about that. I'm out of here. And Jax just no, Rig just turns around and just like leaves.
Okay. So you have about a half a day left. For everybody else, it's a little bit of probably a weird journey if there's anything you want to do. And then for Raspberry, it's all brand new. For you kind of know the layout of the ship just innately, but it's like still the first time seeing everything. So even though like you check in, like looking in this cabin, or you go down to the ship's lounge, you know how to get there. Seeing it for the first time is fun, especially now the lounge is full of these arcade games.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just spend just some time kind of, I guess, exploring the ship, and then with the repairs done on Dominic's mech, you're back, like I said, to full health. Unless there's anything else you want to do while you're still in the hyperspace, the hours will pass.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I imagine Rig plays Mortal Kombat with everyone. Maybe does some late night defenders, and then like sleeps in his mech.
Cool. Does anybody want to do opposed mobility rolls for the Mortal Kombat game?
Yes.
I'm so down.
Okay, give one Jax, one Dominic for this one, and then it looks like Rig and Jax did the first game, and it looks like Dominic is like shoved out of the way.
It's like you would think that big cumbersome man, but somewhere out of nowhere, he just pulls the swift combo out of his ass.
Yo, I got winner.
Here you go. So then, Rig and Dominic. Dominic, you already rolled, so Rig, roll another one. Technically, those are both fails. I don't know how to do that, actually. You guys have a fun time spending just playing on these arcade machines.
I get around.
Yeah, there you go.
We somehow tie.
So the hours pass until you hear dropping out of light speed over the intercoms, and the ship kind of gives the braking sensation that causes you all to kind of lean forwards. Gravity maintains and no one falls over, but you definitely drop out from light speed. And just ahead, it looks like you are right a couple minutes, 5 minutes flight over to this orbital station, which is known for cleaning up space junk, basically. Does anybody want to physically fly, or just leave it to Blackberry?
We have another AI. It's named Blackberry. What happened to Blueberry?
You're right. It's Blueberry. My mistake. I read the wrong thing. I actually have something here that says blackberry. Blueberry, yes. Do you want her to fly, or?
I'm curious how the AI would do, but I'm gonna be on standby
Okay,
so I
so
can
you
like
try to go
override
up
the
to the.
controls.
Sure. So Blueberry takes a slow approach towards Scone Station, or SCO9, and then as soon as you're within comms range, Blueberry sends over a dock request to the space station, and then the answering acknowledgement is requesting for your ship's papers, and so your current ship name is the Allen, and that is approved for docking on one of the bays, and Blueberry just basically takes in an autopilot approach up towards docking at this space station. Since you're in the cockpit, I will have you roll a presence or systems check as well. Okay, so scanning, you see that the ship, the space station has multiple different latch points for different ships. There's several different ones, several haulers, several freighter ships are parked here refueling, and then there's also a military spaceship parked, as well as you detect the spaceship that you are supposed to rendezvous with, and that is. Did I not write down the name of the ship? Let's see. Someone throw out a name of a spaceship that you'd like it to be named. First one wins.
First.
Okay, it's called the First. And it's written in cursive on the ship's bow. It's called the First. And it's a pretty small hauler. It's like your ship is over double its size, but it's docked there right next to the military ship, which is kind of dwarfs it in size. And your docking bay is a little bit over, but you go on kind of attached to one of these dock tubes, and the Lucky 13 parks.
Nice.
Dom would be getting the cargo ready, doing his best not to disrupt Alan from his cocoon.
Yeah, as you go to do that, it's pretty much webbed itself to the cocoon, to the cargo. So do you want to cut the bottom tendrils, or how do you wish to clear it off?
I will certainly try, but if it looks like it harms Alan, we may be in a pickle.
I'd say for this, it's kind of like a mobility check.
Okay. Oh boy. Come on, mobility. Nope.
Okay, so you begin to try to like pry him off or cut it, and then the first tendril snaps, and then he swings awkwardly in the air, and you get the feeling that if you cut more of these, it's maybe not so good.
Over the comms, Dom says, someone want to give me a hand with the cargo? I'm really trying my best not to hurt Alan here, but he's kind of stuck to it.
Yeah, I'll go help, I guess. Don't know how to help. When I get there, what if we, like, support him another way? That way he doesn't just, like, plummet to the floor. Can he hear us in there? He's never done this before, right? When he was with you?
I've never seen this before, no. I know it's a thing that can be done, but he never did it with me.
Yeah. Just by looking, it seems as if he's comatose inside his little nest cocoon.
And it's not very stable if you remove this little tendril right here. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, if we try removing more, he might go flying. I know we replaced, we got a bunch of furniture. Did we replace any furniture? Do we have like an old couch that we could drag up here?
Yeah, I'd say you took a lot of the stuff from there. I don't know if it was ever distributed to the different rooms, but you could try to just replace it, slide out the one,
Yeah.
and prop it up with the other.
Maybe we can do an Indiana Jones
Let's do an old switcheroo. You know?
Yeah, do a switcheroo. Bring up that old couch we have and place him on it.
I feel like
He
this
does
is
love couches. I mean,
I feel like this is a power because you're shifting furniture around, and you can be an advantage because you're helping each other.
so does one person roll at advantage?
What's your power?
12.
Yeah, whoever's got higher probably.
Oh, you got the better power.
Okay. So let's just roll twice.
Mm-hmm.
11.
That's good.
3.
Ooh, 3. So, yeah, you just kind of put your back up against the big the cargo and just shove it while Dominic puts the couch in and behind, and you slide it out, and the tendrils kind of pop and then stick immediately to the couch. Like they reach out for the next closest thing, and you're able to free up the cargo. Back in the cockpit area, Raspberry, are you kind of where would you be at during this docking procedure?
Kind of just like setting up a station for myself, like a little spot in the I don't know, common area, I guess.
Okay, sure. So on one of the screens there, you notice your ship is being scanned,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not by the station, it's
Okay.
by the police cruiser or the military cruiser.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that just kind of the alert comes across your screen.
I guess I'll go see what's going on.
Yeah, from just looking at the viewport, it looks just like all the different ships that are parked. It's just some personnel from that ship has scanned you.
Mm-hmm.
Rick is in the hangar bay. That's funny. Taking off the serial numbers. So
As he's like in there filing off the serial numbers on the hazard spider, he is literally whistling whistle stop.
and I'd say you've got enough time to clear off any pre-existing like numbers and stuff. You could even like put your own fake ones on in its place if you wish.
Oh man, that would be a heinous luck roll to fail if someone actually plugged in some fake numbers. No, what he'll do is he'll very much make it purposely look like battle damage, like worn off from like, you know, a glancing blow or something, you know.
It's like whoever goes, let's say Jax and Dominic, you're bringing down the cargo, and as soon as the hangar bay doors open and you come in, you just see Rig shooting his back.
I'm not gonna bother questioning it. I know better.
I just imagined us like carrying this big ass crate. We like go in, pause, look over. He's just bam, bam, bam.
Exactly.
And then we
Yeah,
just like
like-
keep walking.
Yep, Dom looks over at you and he's like, I'm not gonna ask questions if you aren't.
Yeah, shrugs.
I could see like Rig, like after like shooting at it, look over, see them. Oh, don't worry, I got the spider.
That's funny. So, yeah, what do you all want to do now?
When we leave the ship, is it into space or are we in like a bubble?
You're docked to like a space like tunnel walk thing that connects to the space station. There's also like you're on a pad, but the pad itself is open space. So if you want to open the whole hangar bay, it'll go into the vacuum, or if you go through like the smaller door, it's through a hatch tunnel down to the spaceship.
I know. So we definitely begin loading up this cargo. I know we got other stuff from the science ship that we wanted to sell, right?
Yeah,
we got some of their cargo.
Yeah, there's a lot of like little stuff, and then the science modules.
Yeah, gather up all that little stuff, sell it. Start setting up the cargo.
Right. Once, like, done with making sure that he doesn't get in trouble for scavenging, yeah, he's gonna help, like, start moving cargo, like, very much make it look like we're not here for anything, like, shady. We're just moving normal cargo, like normal cargo freighters. Everything's okay. Everything's fine.
Okay. Yeah, so you can get all that stuff ready. So you have everything, basically all the spare stuff that you didn't want to keep from the spaceship, the science ship.
I think we should keep the printer thing. This is like a nano printer.
Yeah, I don't think that we would I could see like maybe like me and Dominic like going to like pick it up and like move it out, and just like, yeah, you being like, no, like we might want to keep that, and then like us realizing what it is. Yes, we would definitely want to keep that. You're right.
Dom would keep it, but he'd be very like hesitant about it because he's still hesitant about this whole, raspberry thing and blueberry being a mother, and he's really thinking to himself, we got a Terminator situation, and he's just gonna play it cool, and but he's very hesitant. But if Jack's like, let's keep it, he'll be like, fine, for now.
So
sorry,
go ahead.
We've gone from Independence Day to Terminator.
We almost went to Alien.
Well, we are on episode 3, so maybe next week we'll do something even different. So I'm hearing sell one of the science modules.
If I like go to the other science module and I throw an apple into it, does it teleport the apple? Does anything interesting happen?
Do you want to go experiment or roll a systems check?
I want to make sure that, I know you said the name, that it was something else, but I want to make sure that no BlackBerry pops out of this other science machine.
Like, when Rig sees him throw an apple into one of these pods, it's gonna be like, what's your revelation over there, Newton?
I don't know, man. Something might teleport. It might make an apple. It might turn this apple into an AI. That whole science ship was about fruits, apparently.
Yeah. Speaking of the apple, as you're talking, a little arm extends down from the upper portion of the science module, and it's holding a big carton of dirt, and it just dumps the dirt onto the apple and then retracts back up.
Like a robot arm?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God.
No, like a flesh and bone arm.
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean an arm? Oh my God. So, what was it, a systems to understand what this is?
Yeah.
Right. No, I mean 1010. I know that's a fail.
You can tell the bottom one doesn't have a printer in it. Each science module has like 20 compartments of random things, but the one below doesn't seem to have a printer.
So Dom throws the apple in, sees the not flesh arm, dump dirt on it, looks back and says, well, it's not making any AI. I don't know what it does, but it might be a planter. Do we want a planter?
Yeah. You see the scroll along the screen says, Scan complete. This Earth from S74 planet number 002, non-corrosive. And then green light checks marks.
Rig's gonna look over and be like, you know, even if that isn't a planter, right? Like, planter, that's actually a really good idea. Like, I mean, what if, like, we ever lose power somewhere and, like, our air, like, our mechanical, like, air supply goes down? Like, we should get a garden up in here, you know? Like, something that, like, would recirculate our breath, even if power goes down, into oxygen. Yes, we need to get a garden in here someday. Let's do that sometime.
Sell this for a garden?
Is it a planter?
I don't know. It scanned the dirt, I think, and said it wasn't corrosive.
Interesting.
Is any of us smart enough to use these science-y things?
I drive ships for a living. I think that answers that question.
You could try.
Rig would, like, look over at Raspberry if they were in the room and be like, do you know any sciencey things?
Not particularly, but I can educate myself on it.
I mean, that's good to hear. I would, yes, maybe do that.
Okay.
Whatever you... Be
I can
careful on
kinda-
your Google searches, though, young lady.
Of course.
Turns on safe search.
Whatever you do, don't access Alan's history. I haven't had a chance to wipe it yet. He Googles a lot of weird things.
Put parent safety mode on the Wi-Fi.
We really need to limit Alan to at least 30 minutes a day.
So, I guess I would kind of try to look for that and get the information
Okay.
and relay that back.
Sure. So go ahead and roll systems. Okay. So a quick scan, and Raspberry is able to see that the lower science module is designed for all sorts of what would it be, like geology and all kinds of information on planets' habitability. So it has tons of samples from different places, and it's supposed to like process and scan and see what's usable, what's not, whether there's any resources that would be rich to mine or to harvest and stuff like that. And mainly if it's also safe for setting up colonies.
So it will, like, not to interrupt or anything, sorry, but like it would like be able to like scan like say we went to a planet that like is an like identified planet or like an unnavigated planet, and like we went there, like, and there was like vegetation there, we could see we could like scan the vegetation and see if it's poisonous or if it's consumable or if it's harmful to our physiology or something like that.
Yes, you go down, get samples, and then put it in the science module.
So you
and
need
it'll
a
tell.
sample just like the apple. Right.
Yes. Correct.
Well, that's not
Well,
too
that
hard to
could be-
understand.
That could be useful in the long run.
I agree, because if we ever were to like crash land or something and like had to like survive in a location for any amount of time, like while we were repaired or like waited to be like rescued or something, having a way to see if like what's edible in a strange land is probably going to be like a savior.
Rig, you've been talking a lot about us crashing lately. You okay, man?
Do you not trust my flying? Have I scared you?
Possibilities, Murphy's Law.
Okay. I thought I've been doing pretty good.
Yeah, I thought you've been doing pretty good too.
Thank you.
Uh, okay. It's not any slight against your skills, okay? It's just, you know how many hours of No Man's Sky I have? Every file opens up from you crash landing on some planet and like having to like deal with the world around you and trying to like get off the planet and stuff. And let me tell you, knowing what you can eat is very helpful.
That's fair.
So is the vote to keep both science modules?
That
I
is
think so.
certainly my vote.
So just sell off the junk.
And begin getting this cargo ready to bring out into the Scone station.
Yes. So, did I give you guys a name for the guy you're supposed to sell it to or meet up with? Or
You
just,
probably did.
Well, I probably didn't write it down. So you know the ship is called the First. You also
Is
know it's
there-
like docked like a couple berths up.
Wait a minute. Yeah, okay, like when we dock, we have like a visual of where it's at, right? Like where it's docked.
Yeah, if you go up to either your viewport, which I think is the observatory, or the ship's cockpit, you can see.
Okay,
You can see it just behind the police cruiser.
Rig realizing that he really doesn't like having awkward like talks with like, flight attendants or anything like, or after the ticket incident, right? He doesn't want to have to go to like some like lounge and ask someone like where that's at or whatever. So he's gonna go up to the like viewports and try and count how many um like
Like
what would you
docking
call
bays.
those? How many docking bays down it is?
So it is 4 docking bays down. There's one empty, then a small freighter, then the gunship from the military ship, and then the First is just behind that.
Okay, Rig will go over the ship intercom since he's like up in the cockpit now,
Mhm.
And be like, yeah, it's like 4 hangar bays to the left from when we exit the door. So, um, let's try and like figure out like this meet, right?
So do you wish to exit the vehicle, the exit into the space station, or get vac suits on and open the back hangar bay door?
I would like to go the safest way of bringing cargo. How I used to do it, the way I know best. So whether that is having to put on the suits and go out into space for a little bit, or if it's going through the tunnels, whichever's safer, Dom would take with the cargo.
So for this type of environment on this ship, probably for like large cargo swaps, you probably wouldn't go inside the space station. Actually, you'd probably go from dock and then get like a hover lift to like a tugboat to take whatever cargo from one ship to the other, which would mean vac suit and using a mech and stuff like that to do the exterior. If you go into the space station, you'd be more like in just your flight suits and be more on foot and stuff. And that's you'd know that they have like shops inside, lounge, restaurants, and stuff like that, entertainment.
So what you're telling me is we would know that it'd be like proper procedure to like maybe turn off our like G generator so that our cargo doesn't weigh anything.
Yeah, as soon as you open your hatch, that'd be probably appropriate. But if with your ship with the Allen, it only has one gravity setting of on and off, so you can't.
Right.
So once you turn it off, the whole ship won't have it.
Right. Before clicking the 0G off, Rig would like, or anyone else does that, right? Rig would like run down into the into the hangar and get into his spider and turn on its like magnetic leg setting, and then like go to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, if that's gonna be the case, I think Dom would pop into his own cargo mech to be able to, grab the cargo and have an easier time carrying it between ships that they're meant to bring it to.
Okay. How about for Jax and Raspberry?
Yeah, I'm gonna suit up as well.
Okay. And then for Raspberry, there are the ship's mechs that start with it, the same kind that like Alan was using. They have those ones here, or if you wanted, you could stay just in the ship normally. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay in the ship for now.
Okay.
I'm not really like trained in all of that just yet.
So for
We have to have a
Dominic,
training arc.
Yeah, it's a little
a
bit.
montage.
Let's go.
So if you open up the cargo bay doors and want to try to ferry the cargo, that
Rig on the way, like after like making sure that the gravity generators are turned off, like
Mhm.
while you, because I imagine that switch is probably in the the cockpit or like kind of area, right? The bridge.
Yep.
He would then like essentially tell Blueberry to hail the ship and to inform their captain that we're preparing for transfer.
Okay. Do you open your cargo bay doors at this point?
I think once everybody's in position, Jax would open the doors. Now that he knows how to do that.
So as Raspberry, you're up kind of like in the cockpit area, and Blueberry gets instructed to like send over the communications transfer. The AI pauses, and then just only in the bridge you see the transcript of Blueberry saying to you, "Why don't you do the transmission to the first?"
Yes, Blueberry. And then I turn to do, or I attempt to.
So
I
you,
assume making a mistake.
you click the lights on the ship all turn off, and you turn it back
Yeah.
on. But yeah, you do kind of communicate
Turns on.
the hazards,
This
the
one?
landing gear.
Turns the
Which one
gravity
is
back
it?
on.
Roll a systems check. Yeah, there's like a bunch of buttons that you're like pressing for all kinds of different things. The gravity turns back on, then turns back off. So for those in the hangar, yeah, it's a little bit of a ride. The landing gear starts to close and then raise back up, and then eventually you do get to the correct transmissions though, and you hail the first, and you hear a grizzled voice come over the comms. "Yeah, this is Harry.
Hello, Harry.
Who's this?"
This is Raspberry from, what's the name? Lucky? What is our ship name?
The paperwork would be the Allen.
The Allen.
The Alan, yeah, we got a lot of names.
Yeah, what do you want? I'm a little I'm trying to keep a low profile. What do you need?
Blueberry, what is the request?
Prepare to receive shipment, I believe.
We would like to what is it? What do I say?
Tell them to prepare to receive the shipment.
Ah, thank you. Please prepare to receive the shipment.
What shipment?
Our cargo shipment.
Now's
Blueberry?
really not a good time. And then Blueberry's gonna like look from her like hologram. She looks very uncertain. Says, recommend informing the captain. The-
Captain? Who's that, Rick?
Why do I imagine all three of us at the same time? Yes.
I was just gonna say the exact same thing. All three of us, like, are you talking to me? This is the Spider-Man pointing meme? Like, Dom's pointing at Jack, Jack's pointing at Big. Which one of us? We're all captain. Who are you talking to?
The boy. You can't bring anything over here. They're right next to us. Now's not a good time.
Let me check with my captain. Riggs?
Yeah, the guy
So-
from the comm ends the transmission.
So you tell us that they're like nervous right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Rig would like look at everyone else and then like I guess radio because like we're all like trying to get into like our mechs and stuff to move the shipment. I guess wait out the military ship? Question mark.
We'll wait. Apparently.
You see that he has ended the transmission. Did
Like, do we have? I forget. Did we have mech to mech communications?
yeah,
Yeah.
You've got light comms, yeah.
So Dom would go over to comms with Rig and say, don't you have connections? You were a cop, right? Maybe you could distract.
I mean,
We have a job to do.
maybe I could like I imagine if they're docked here, they're trying to like get supplies or they're on a patrol. So maybe like they're trying to go port side, get some food. Maybe like I could like go and like it would probably be a good idea to go get something to eat anyways. Like we've been eating our shit tofu for like like a week now. So maybe we could commingle and figure out how long they're here.
Do we need to be worried though? I thought we had the paperwork. It's just that we don't know what's in the cargo. We have the official paperwork for this delivery. It's legit. It's the only reason I accepted it.
That's true. You do have
Yeah.
canned air and food supplies. That's true.
Like Rig like realizing that like military might have like capabilities of like listening into other ships like like comms and stuff. He's just gonna be like, yeah, totally legal, 100% legal.
Yeah, we got the paperwork. It's why we took the job.
Rig
Ra-
is also realizing that like, but if the other captain is acting this way, it's probably not very legal.
It's just foodstuffs.
Raspberry, you're still in the cockpit, right?
Yes.
For this one, go ahead and roll a... Actually, you could do presence or systems. Okay, so you see 4 of those docking bays over, just behind the police cruiser. The hatch opens from the first, and you see a mech begin to pull itself up out and kind of lower itself behind his ship as he seems to be disembarking by mech.
Okay. There's a mech on the, I guess, the bay?
Yeah, it's on the docking bay, the same one as the first, but it's getting out of the first and now it's in space.
Okay.
We already opened our hangar door, right?
Oh, did you?
I thought we did.
Yeah, I think Jack said he did once we were all in position.
Okay, as soon as you do, you just get another comm from the station, and it's just kind of a bored sounding voice saying, send over your manifest and send over a list of delivery to be received.
Okay. We would, I guess go
Yeah.
handle that, right?
Yeah, send over the. Dom will take care of the paperwork.
So you see a couple just labor bot mechs type things coming up to retrieve the cargo on the manifest.
Yeah. I'll make sure all is written appropriately, hand in any paperwork that's needed.
Okay.
We are legit. We are legal cargo carriers. We may look a little suspicious because we have 3 names, but it's Flair.
Yep. These labor bots are more like drones, so it's not like there's people in them, but they're grabbing the boxes and containers of the food and the air stuff.
Mhm.
The cargo container that Alan was sleeping on, that's not on that manifest. That's what was being like smuggled essentially, and that is there. Don't touch that.
Well, right, they would have to go through our entire ship to find that.
I thought we brought it down to the hangar bay because
Did we?
I thought we
were
did too.
we were getting ready to bring it
Oh.
to the other ship.
Okay, so it's good that they don't touch that. Maybe we put that behind my spider mech or something.
Yeah, because I know I was in my mech. I was like, if we have like a tiny little like push cart or a push cart for this
Trolley.
cargo, he has it on a trolley and is using his mech to wheel the trolley, or in this case with no gravity, fly the trolley. Strap down the cargo. So that's what was happening. I mean, if we could hide it, do a quick like stuff it behind the spider mech. But I thought we had papers for everything. This was just something that we didn't know what was inside. We still have the papers for it. We just don't know what it is.
I think it was very much that we were smuggling that, especially with how dude is reacting, right? Like,
this container is not on the manifest. No.
But we know it's not humanoid because I know that's what it was. I only took this job because there was confirmation that nothing was going to pop out inside of this.
Right, that it wasn't living.
That it wasn't another Alan.
Right, there was no heartbeats detected.
Yeah.
I would like a volunteer, please, for a dice roll.
I'll volunteer.
Okay. Roll a d20 for a mobility check, please. Not your own.
D20.
Okay. And then for Raspberry, if you can roll a presence or systems check. Okay. And then I'll have Jax, you can roll for me a d8.
D8.
Raspberry's distracted by Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
Found Rocket League. Eyes went wide. Iris is dilated.
True.
Okay, cool. The labor mechs are lowering about half the cargo out. They're just getting like line by line, conveyor belt style, pulling these crates over and shuttling them to the space station, where they are being received. Do you wish to all do anything?
I think at this point, Rig is just sitting in the cockpit of the spider mech, making sure that everything goes smoothly, and waiting for this part of everything to like finish out before abandoning the ship and like entering the space station.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think same with Dom. He'll connect to the ship communications and ask, Blueberry, what's taking so long?
Blueberry is unaware or not sure what to respond to. Could you please restate your question?
What's taking so long with the cargo? What are we waiting on?
The cargo is being unloaded currently.
With the first, what's going on with the first?
Do you refer to the ship, the first?
Yes.
It is still powered down and docked on docking bay 4.
He'll pop over the comms to Rig or Jax, through the mechs and say, do we just wait?
It would be an opportunity to go get something to snack on.
It's been a while since I've eaten. When was the last time we had a good meal? Back on Titan after the race?
Probably, actually. But the labor mechs are almost finished. You see the last couple boxes of these cylindrical cans of air, oxygen, being hoisted up and the last labor mech beginning to depart off the ramp, and around the corner, you all three of you in the hangar need to roll systems checks, or yeah, you won't be able to do presence. Whoa. We have a...
We're usually bad at this, and we're actually kicking it.
So, for Jax, not so much. You're not even like paying attention to any of your systems, as you're just thinking about food and races and stuff like that, probably. For Rig, it's more maybe because you're in the military mech, and it's got good scanners, and so it gives you an alert that which catches your attention. And for Dominic, I think it's just like you're really close to it, but you see on your systems the mech that enters into your hangar bay, invisible. You can scan it, and you see that there's an unknown mech that has now boarded your ship, and it's standing like in close proximity with the three of you. Just because of the size of how big the hangar is, it's considered close range for all three of you, but it is invisible.
Would we hail it for comms?
You can try, since you now have scanned it.
Yeah, definitely call it out.
Yeah, I would call out to it. I think we both would. Also, I don't have like fingers to point, right? In my mech, I would radio to Dom, maybe point at it with your mech while you're hailing at it, so that it realizes that we do see it.
Yeah, Dom would begin doing that. Do we have any like mech-sized flares in our hangar, like, placing in, I think we did, right, to place in space as like guidances,
like buoys or type
Like
things?
roadside assistance.
yeah,
Oh.
like roadside flares.
Sure. Yes.
While pointing at the mech and trying to hail it, I would like to grab one of the flares and just get it ready to ignite and toss at the mech if it tries to move further invisible, to like kind of use the smoke from the flare to like give us a shape.
Okay. So you light the flare?
Not yet.
Okay, so you just kind of grab
If
one.
my systems show that it begins moving deeper into our hangar bay while still invisible and doesn't respond to our hailing, he's going to toss the flare in its direction.
Okay, so as you hail him, what do you say?
I'm gonna just pop over the comms real quick and say, I got visual rig. You're the military man. You're the cop. Speak to him.
Sending the hail frequency, Rig would say, identify self. You have entered our, hangar. We have detected you. Are you, from the first?
You see the mech. For Jax, you see this too because kind of it repixelates into visuals as it drops its cloak, and it's standing before you is like this taller than both Jax and Dominic's mechs, but nowhere near as big as Riggs. But it's this sleek, almost like stealth mech, and it's kind of in a crouch, and it looks up at the spider mech, and then you just see or hear on the comms, "Yeah, that's me."
By the way, like, just for like a visual flair, I imagine that, like, as I'm sending that, the like twin cannons on its, like, like on the mounts of the side are just like slowly rotating. You know that, like, the wind up before,
Yeah.
like, when you're not actually like holding the trigger, but you're winding up the
Yeah.
minigun.
Exactly. So, yeah. Yeah, that's me from the first.
I would like use my like spider legs to kind of like mandible the like cargo from behind me and to like like move a leg to like push it in front.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you all to take that over to the first yourselves.
The chain guns don't stop winding. Do explain.
There's a military craft parked right next to me, and I can't be seen by them. Capiche?
Well, you have a cloak.
Exactly. That's how I got over here. I
Exactly.
space jumped.
Right. And then this random piece of cargo just magically drifted back into your ship and you left. Rig jokes.
Yeah. Maybe we can leave it here until they leave.
Dom would like not kill the link but mute to that source so that only like crew members could hear him over the comms, and he will
I'm
say,
Dom, you're Rig.
wait, what?
You said Dom.
I didn't. Did I say Dom? I'm tired. I'm sorry. Rig would go over the like he would like mute to that person, so that like only everyone else can hear him, and he would say, what do you guys feel about that? Waiting. I mean, he's like already over here. Like, what are your guys' opinions?
If we were gonna wait, why would he come here?
Yeah, that's kind of my opinion.
I don't know, but he can cloak. That's so cool.
Ask him if he has any connecting ports between ships. Maybe we could throw it through a tunnel between ships.
Like, we could meet in a location away from the port.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Flips him back on and says, we could both casually leave in the next hour or so. and meet up in a location away from port and make the transfer if that's what you wish. We kind of have a tight schedule. We would like to get out of here as fast as possible and distance whatever this transaction is from ourselves and this military ship as well.
That sounds good. And then he will roll a reactor die. And I realized I had you roll a d8, but it should have been a d6. So at this point, he would roll a d4. I'll do that one and try to cloak again. And he does cloak. But then his mech powers down. And the comms die because of that.
I sigh, like I forget to not take my finger off of the push to talk, and I'm just like, as like I'm sure our systems like show us even that he just powered down.
Yeah, with his reactor going down, I think even the cloak doesn't really last that long. It starts to it fades out, but then like overheats and begins to fade back in.
We go get the Tesla charger.
Yeah. Well, he's just beginning to scramble and get out of the cockpit.
If he begins getting out, if we have like another button to shut the hangar doors by the hangar, Dom will press it with his mech hand to shut the doors.
Yeah, you can beat him to that because you just reach over with your big mech arm and push it. So the hangar bay begins to close.
And then over comms, Dom will say, can we get gravity back on, please?
So up in the cockpit, Raspberry, do you want to click the gravity button back on? Now that you know which one does what. They give Raspberry and Blueberry together. Go ahead and the guy jumps from his mech, floating towards the closing gate, and then the gravity activates, and thud, he falls down to the ground in the middle.
Because it'd be really funny, like if Dom in his mech, throws his arms wide open and like broadcasts his voice through like a speaker from his mech so that people outside of it can hear, and he just says, "What did you really expect to happen there, man? Like, I know we're working together, but what did you expect to happen there?"
You didn't pin him down or anything, right?
No, he's just watching this.
Yeah, so he's getting back up and starting to run, clearly used to different gravity settings than your ship has. So he's trying to run, but it's like a slow drag, his feet one after the other, because it's just heavier than he's used to. And he's trying to get to the cargo bay doors, but they've closed, and so now he's looking for an alternate hatch.
I imagine at this point Rig is getting out of his mech. He's not even like aggressive about anything, right? He's just getting out of his mech. He's walking over to where they keep their jumper cables to charge up their mechs from the ship. He's not even thinking about this hostily. He's thinking oh great, now we got to give this guy a jump so that we can hurry up and get him back on his ship and do the trade. Oh, come on.
So you kind of take a look at him as he's looking around for alternate exits and stuff?
I'm definitely looking at him.
I'm looking at him. Does he look like he's scared of us?
Not scared of you. It looks like he doesn't want to be stuck anywhere.
Seen.
But
okay, because he's just jumpy.
Yeah, Rig. If you see him, I'll have you roll. Let's see. This would be presence. Let's say presence of mind. So you look at him, and he's very, very familiar. And as you begin to get out the big charge cable, it clicks. Yeah, that he's wanted on Mars and probably other systems. It's not the top 10, but definitely wanted for thievery, theft, not arson, but vandalism, stuff like that.
How big is his bounty? Is it like substantial or is it like petty bounty?
If you were to like turn him into Mars, where you're from, you would probably get a full-on financial die boost from it, rather than small cash change.
Okay. I see. Okay, so like I know what his like real name is, right?
Yeah, it's Harry Badenweiler.
That just sounds creepy. That is. Okay. Anyways, so Harry, he would be like, "Hey Harry, like none of us are bounty hunter here. Like calm down. Like we're just gonna jump your shit. Like come on. Like quit pissing yourself over there."
Roll another presence check. You say the word bounty hunter, and he begins to make a break towards your elevator area, kind of running past Dom, Jax, and Rig.
Can I try to cut him off? I don't want him on the elevator.
Vreg will just like calm to Blueberry. Blueberry, turn off the powers to the elevators.
Yeah, not Dom, Jax, roll a mobility with advantage. Because you are, you're in a mech and faster, and yeah, you block the way, and then up in the cockpit, Blueberry is trying to nudge Raspberry to do as much of this before her like timer kicks in, and she has to do it for you because she's trying to get you to learn a little bit. So when the request comes in to turn off the power to the elevator, Raspberry, go ahead and roll a systems check. Okay. Yep. You navigate through the computer terminal from the cockpit, and the elevator shuts off behind you.
Thank you, berries.
Pardon?
Thank you, berries.
Oh, yes. Of course.
What are you guys doing?
I think at this point, like Dom has popped out the hatch from his own mech and is just watching this, and he's like, "We're just trying to jump your mech, man. We just want to make this delivery and then leave."
But you don't understand. You can't deliver to that ship.
It's not your ship that we're meant to deliver it to?
No. No, they're going to be all over that ship in about 20 minutes.
Rig looks over and goes, "What's in the supplies?"
Rig, make sure that I double check all contracts next time we agree to something.
Yeah. Will do.
What supplies? You talking about the shipment?
What's in the box?
I don't know what's in the box. I was just gonna deliver it somewhere, but I can't do that anymore.
Where were you supposed to deliver it to?
Some moon of Marcia. I don't know exactly. It's a convoy, a flotilla. I'm supposed to deliver it.
Do you know the coordinates? Because if you're not going to do this job, I mean, someone's going to have to get paid here. And it might as well be our crew.
You know, you can have the cargo. Let me just hide away on your ship, or just let me out of here. I'll be on my own. I can stay on the station. They won't be able to find me in there.
That's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to jump your mech, man.
I can't take the mech either.
You in contact with our supplier?
You mean back on Titan?
Yeah.
I was, but he's probably not gonna like me anymore after this. But you gotta look out for number one.
Well, he's not gonna like you anymore when you call him and tell him we're taking double now.
No, I'm not gonna call him. I gotta get out of here.
Rig, you want to spin those barrels?
So, like, it's like he's just like in like a exosuit, right?
He's in a vac suit.
Yeah. That's
Mhm.
what I meant.
Yeah.
Sorry. Um, at this point, Rig is just gonna realize that this guy's just like a loose end and a liability at this point. So, I'm quite sure these military guys would pay pretty handsomely for this guy, and we're going to need a little bit of money to get to our new location. So he's going to pull out his gun, cock it, and hold it to him and be like, "Get on the ground. You done fucked up."
Roll a presence with advantage. He's like, "Whoa! I thought you said you were bounty hunters." And then he does as you say.
The winds of fate are quite strange. It turns out that you are not reliable and aren't going to hold up your end of the deal, which kind of royally screws us over, which means we're going to have to catch our losses some way. And today it looks like you're going to put food on our table.
That's barbaric, and you know. Oh, never mind. I get it, but that's still mean.
You are surrounded, man. You got a gun to your head, and you got two mechs standing above you. You really done fucked up.
Yeah, I just don't want to go back to prison on Mars. She gets on the ground and is face down.
Rig's gonna grin and be like, "Yeah, I hear the prisons are pretty rough."
Dom says, just, take this as a lesson. Don't mess with truckers. Learn next time.
Yeah, he just grumbles.
Do I have like zip ties, or do we have zip ties in the hangar?
Probably, yeah. You've got whole
Yeah.
toolkits and stuff, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna zip tie him.
Dom is, is gonna shout this to both Rig and Jax and say, what do we think? Hail the military cargo, tell them we caught a wanted criminal? Breaking and
Yeah.
entering into our ship?
The only
I
thing I'm
mean,
worried about is
they're
that the cargo, right?
gonna search us then, and we got.
Which would be a problem. We need to figure out how we're gonna handle this in a way where we can still complete, our new objective to our main quest.
What if, just wild idea. What if we attach the cargo to his mech there, and someone hopped in, went invis?
Sounds good to me. I'll go and get the jumper cables. Anyone even know how to work this model of mech? He kind of like says questioningly.
I learned how to
don't.
fly a spaceship in like an hour. I can probably figure it out.
I'll begin attaching the cargo to the back of Harry's mech. Like a big old backpack.
It's not exactly suited for that, but it's enough, especially since there's no pressure or anything. You can kind of attach it on. But yeah, it is a scout class mech, and this is a chance for Jax if you wanting to take that scout.
I definitely do.
I'll let you tell us kind of more in detail what it looks like as you are strapping on that cargo to the back.
Oh god, I had reference pictures for it, and now I don't know where they went.
Can those post them later?
Oh, here you go. It's probably better. I think this is kind of like the base model here. I think I'm just going to do this to make it easier. So that was kind of what I was going to base it on.
Nice.
And then I would, put more of my neon like flare on it later on.
Sweet. Yeah, as you are going inside and getting it booted up after it gets jumped, you realize that this is not Harry's mech. This is a mech that's been long stolen and serial wiped. So it's basically just you could turn it
Mine
in
now.
or you can keep it.
So how does this work? If it's holding something, does it cloak what it's holding or what it's attached
Yeah.
to?
Yeah, I
Okay.
believe so. That's the way we're gonna run it anyways.
Perfect.
So you wish to... The guy's not causing any, like, trouble. He doesn't want to get shot, and he's got a gun in his face. But, what do you all want to do next with this guy?
I'm waiting for Jax to go invis before I do anything.
Am I powered up? Are we good?
Yeah, you'd be... We'll just say, if you want to take as much time as you want, you can go back to the full reactor, which is a D6.
Sweet. All right. Well, then when everybody's ready, I'll cloak. And 6.
Nice.
Okay. Yep. So you become invisible in the hangar still.
And then seeing him go invisible, since Dom is still in his mech, he'll pop into the comms with the ship, and taking a cue from what Rigg said, he'll say, "Barry's, can you please contact the military ship and tell them we caught a criminal breaking into to our ship, and I think they'd be very interested in finding out who it is. Thank you."
Do you do so? Or Raspberry might still be AFK.
Razzleby.
Oh, sorry. That was AFK. I'm back.
Do you wish to calm the police cruiser and notify them of your not stowaway but prisoner Harry?
Okay. Again.
Okay. So as soon as you get on comms with them, they identify themselves as Commander Nidit's cruiser. Please state your business.
On board we are transporting a prisoner. That's as much as I know right now, sorry.
Prisoner. We will send a crew over immediately. Yes, please be safe there. We'll be there in just a few minutes. And you see them light up their space sirens, and then a bunch of troops begin to come down from their open hangar deployment section, and you see a bunch of little soldier mechs coming out. They kind of just jump jet over to your hangar bay. And then as soon as they come around, they see this situation where we have... Rigg, are you in your spider mech?
No, I'm standing over dude with a gun to him. The moment that they jump jet in, he's gonna almost not necessarily make a show of it, but definitely make it clear intention by kind of doing the gunslinger, put the gun away into the holster and kind of raise the hands up, I'm not a threat.
Sure. And then Dominic, are you in your mech?
Dom he's in his mech, but he's sitting in the hatch, he's
cockpit open, kind of thing.
Yeah, cockpit open, watching everything. When the cops come in, he's just pointing them in the direction of Rigg and the prisoner.
Yeah.
Welcoming them aboard.
Yeah, it's like a squad of probably 6 soldiers. They come in and come up to the prisoner, squat down, do a facial recognition software on him, ID him as Harry Badenweiler, the space bandit, and then they slap real cuffs onto him and make sure his vac suit's sealed properly, and then are gonna get it ready, prepping him to haul him away. And the soldiers just kind of nod. Thank you for reporting this. We've been after him for a long time. As apparently this is his last known whereabouts. We got a tip that he was here. So excellent rookie work.
Rig would kind of like chuckle a bit at that and be like, and he would give them our account number and be like, we'll be expecting that at least part of that reward.
Huh? Do you have a bounty hunter license?
I thought under the Trade Act of the Mars Article 4 that freelance work was accepted by most civilians.
Roll a presence check.
Does he get advantage because he's a cop?
It's just quoting like law books.
I will say from the fact that you know the system, you can maybe try to reverse it and try to make it sound the system, but it's not actually. So go ahead and take an advantage. Yes.
Oh, thank the heavens. That was like just a narrow shave, wasn't it?
The guy like squints at you for a second. He's like, Is that Mars code? Are you a Martian? You're from Mars?
He says I'm ex police force.
Huh. I have not heard that before. They're doing some nice stuff on Mars. I wish I could have done that before I joined the forces. Okay, give it here. I'll wire it over. I think it's a pretty good bounty too.
He kind of giggles and says, "Yeah, I heard there's a couple of things the recruiters don't tell you about."
Oh, yeah, you're telling me. It's a joke. But hey, we get to see the stars. If I worked on Mars, I'd just be staring at the same skyline the whole day. Okay, there you go. So that's a good chunk of change. You picked the wrong ship, that's for sure. He shoves the guy's head down forwards as he marches him out. Alright, the credits should transfer over momentarily. Thank you for being a responsible citizen. And the troops begin to exit the vehicle. And just as he said, a couple minutes later, ching, you do get a nice chunk of change into your group account.
As soon as they're out of view, Rig kind of exhaustingly drops to his knees and he's like, "Oh, thank God that went smoothly."
That was really close. It was really close to not getting any money for that.
Well, Rig, I think you earned that meal.
Over comms. Guys, this is so cool. I am invisible. How long does this last? Can I just do this? Until I overheat?
Is there an off button? Press an off button. See if there's an off button.
I'm gonna try to turn off the cloak.
Yeah, you can turn it off. I'm actually trying to go read your scout ability for cloaking. As a use action, activate your cloaking field and become hidden. Roll your reactor die, and it doesn't say anything about...
I'm pretty sure it lasts until you make an attack action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you
get
get detected.
I played a scout with stealth as my first mech, and because I know you get bonuses to hitting enemies, I think, that don't know you're there because of your cloak.
Yeah,
well, I have ambush, right? So
yeah,
if I'm hidden,
but pretty much you don't deactivate unless you get scanned and seen by somebody else, or you make an attack, I think. So yeah, you can just leave it on so long as your mech's turned on in the hangar bay. Just invisible mech.
So cool.
And I believe you can also make mobility checks to try and hide if like there are things that you can like use as cover or whatnot to like save your reactor, but like yeah, also you can just cloak and be hidden.
Yeah, the scouts are pretty cool. So if you remain just in the hangar bay, you still have the illegal cargo or the unregistered cargo, whatever it is. You barely got some money, but that was a very close roll, and you find yourselves on the space station. Do you wish to just go and get some food and enjoy yourselves for a little bit? And
Yeah, let's find like what kind of cuisine do they have?
there's one strip of different restaurants here where it's all kinds of different, like mall food essentially, which probably tastes really good for most people who've been in space on space rations. So there's deep fried foods, there's space McDonald's, yes. There's you can get tacos, sort of like not really street food. It's like wannabe street food. And then there's a famous bar here, which has the word bar translated into almost every language on this big sign, and so they have named it Bar 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 because 3 translations read the same. So
Right.
Bar. And yeah, you can get food there. You can all hang out, kind of de-stress and make plans. And if you take your AI companion Raspberry for the first time off the ship as well, then I think we will kind of fade to black on that scene of you guys going into this space refueling station, like a big gas station, essentially, which has a mall attached to a big space gas station.
So it's like one giant. I know you said. I'm picturing like a giant food court,
Yeah, pretty much.
like a giant mall food court.
Yeah, it's like the big orbital ring type, like runway is just all like different food places.
Do they have a MexRS?
That's a good question. We'll say sure. It's maybe limited. But it's like if you go to like an auto zone, they've got all like the basic components and stuff. Not so much you can go buy mechs, but you can buy all like pieces and modules and yeah, all that stuff.
Before going to eat, he definitely Rig would definitely want to like go and see what type of modules that they might have laying around, and if there's anything like that might be useful to the crew.
Okay. If you wish to buy a module, you would roll the financial die and select from either of the books, and let me know what you would like to do. I'm not going to put any sort of restrictions on it. So if you go in, yeah, they've got stuff. It's not everything, but they will have kind of what you're shopping for if you wish to buy something like a particle barrier or a targeting array, or if you want to get pieces for your ship, you can spend money here on the space station.
Would anybody be mad if I rolled the financial die for a super reactor?
No, I might be in the market for a module as well.
Okay, sweet. I hope I don't roll low, because I don't want to waste this.
So you do get the module, and that costs you the bounty money, and you're back down to a D4.
I'm sorry, everyone.
But you do have a super reactor.
I do.
That's funny. I actually really like the financial die.
Well,
now you got to go on more
well,
missions.
Gang, we might not be able to go to the bar, but at least we can afford Space Donald's.
So probably that's okay for Raspberry, because as an AI, do you eat?
Yes.
So you do.
Space McDonald's.
Fantastic.
Can we have a junior star burger with boom sauce?
So yeah, that's gonna be where the scene closes. Are you all sitting down on these absurdly McDonald's like stools at the bar.
Do they have the limited edition warp sauce? I hear it will like send your mind to another like solar system.
Unfortunately, the ice cream machine is out.
Even in
course.
space.
So no milkshakes. But yeah, I think we'll end the session there. It's that's a good place to conclude as you dealt with the cargo, or did you?
Boy, did we.
But yeah, we'll see about what's the attributes. You didn't really have any danger. How about everybody chooses? Now we'll just do what the book is. So everybody can roll attributes for your upgrades. So roll an attribute test for every one, and then if you roll over the attribute instead of under, which is backwards, then you get to raise it. And then each class of pilot gets to do, what is it? I think it's 2 rolls for something. Let me see.
Yeah, each like it'll be like what your prime stats are for your.
Yeah, it's under your class, your mech class. That's right. And so for Dominic and Raspberry, since you don't have like real mechs, just use the one that you're planning on using, and that's fine.
Okay, so rolling our abilities, we want to roll over, and
Yeah.
if we roll over, they go up by 1.
Yeah, so I just got the Brawler open as an example. So they would take power and mobility and roll those with advantage, and then the other 2 would not. So whatever class mech, it'll give you 2 stats for advantage, and then you just roll your d20 for each one, including with the ones with advantage. And if you roll higher than your stat, then you plus it by 1.
Trip for you, that would be system and presence.
Okay, so
Thank you.
okay. What is it for? Because I know as a pilot, I increase my system mobility, but what is it for a Titan?
Titan is your presence and power.
Okay, so I roll those with advantage, and then I roll the others normally.
Correct. And
okay, presence power.
Are we level 2 now?
This would be pushing you to level 2, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so just looking at some of the rolls. So Trip, did you only roll systems so far?
Yes.
So you get to +1 to your systems, and then you get to roll each other attribute too. So power, mobility, and presence you still get to roll. And then...
What about the roll your hit die to gain hit points?
You do get to roll the hit die too. Thank you for pointing that out. So Trip, your presence went up, and then your systems went up, and then what was the other one, Todd? Trip.
She has system and presence are her advantage rolls.
Oh,
which,
okay. Those are the ones, yeah.
If you get it, then you don't really have to roll the second time. So.
Okay. And then hit die, you also get to roll your hit dice for 1 time, and it's...
Damage, you mean? The damage die?
No, your hit point die, your hit die. Each mech has one. I forget what Scouts is.
Under what category?
You would just have a dice that like
What's your
mech.
I think it's
What's your
it's a
mech?
D6.
Is she a... Wait, what is...
Auxiliary, I thought. Was it Striker or Auxiliary?
Striker?
Striker's
Striker's
a
a
D8,
D8.
sorry. Ooh, Dom!
What are the rules on that ones?
This is a fun, chill game, so let's do it. If you roll a
Reroll
natural
that
1,
one.
re-roll that. Let's not
I
have it be
assume
sucky.
if I get another nat 1, I keep it.
A 2. It's a 2.
Well,
It's gonna
let's
be
see
a
what you roll.
It's gonna be a 2.
It's
Okay.
a 9.
Really good.
I don't know where the hit die is or whatever.
You have a D8.
Yeah, so just roll a D8. And then add that to your maximum hit points.
Okay.
What happens with reactor dice? I've been reactor dice. Do they ever go up?
You have to get the module super reactor to up your reactor die.
Well, I mean, okay, even if you're below your starting reactor die.
Oh,
if you're below, you get charged up. You can, when you're in your ship, you can just reset it basically in downtime.
Like, I imagine we have like, you know, like cables that link to the like ship's reactor that charge our like mech reactors.
Mm-hmm. So.
Like mech-sized USB cables, Type C, so we don't have to fumble with it in the dark.
So what is I'm curious if there's any things you guys want to try to do for your next financial dice roll that aren't forced. Are you liking the modules?
I just happen to know that there is a certain module combo that I definitely want to get over time, which is super reactor to up my reactor by 1, and then micro reactor to downgrade it by 1, but be able to roll twice.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's loophole.
I gotta guarantee those 6s, baby.
That's so funny. All right. Well, we are actually still recording, so have a good night, YouTube. We would chat with you later.
Woo.